Hey, this is WhyBeAre with BeamNG.drive, and today we're going to be doing a comparison between the modern Ibishu Pessima and the Ibishu Pessima from the 1980s in a bunch of ways. So we're going to start off by spawning up very comparable models. We're going to get the 2.0 LX automatic for the modern one, and then the old one also has a 2.0 LX version available. So we're going to get that one, so we have a match between the two, and we'll get opposite colors so you can tell the cars apart real easy. And the first thing we're going to do is some crash testing. So we're going to bring the car over to here, line it up like so, and then we're just going to start hitting the things. We'll start off with a 50-ish mile/hour crash right into that block right there. Get a little bit of slow-mo so I could really control the speed to get the appropriate speed on impact. So right there, impact 50 miles per hour about. It's like right at the 50, maybe 51 just a tad, but close enough for this comparison. And drive shaft broken, so we're not going to be able to drive that out of the way, unfortunately. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this one and crash it somewhere else, because teleporting cars can be a little bit iffy. So what I'm going to do is just going to crash it into the wall over here, and again, 50 miles per hour. We can accelerate a lot and then slow down when we get to the wall, just because it is such a distance away. Tone it down, get it to about 50. There we go. 50-ish. We'll floor it right here, and that'll possibly push it up to 51 for a perfect match. There we go. 51, just like the other one. And now we need to compare the damage. So the easiest way to do this is to actually put the camera into that one mode I thought I would never use. That is the chase mode. We'll freeze the camera there. And then if we hold left or right, we can keep the camera at a very consistent position between the two vehicles. So now we could just go back and forth between the vehicles really easily. And you can see that the roof line on the older Pessima has bent slightly more than the modern one. For frontal damage, it also appears that the older one has a tiny bit more damage than the modern one. And then the door, that's about equal, although the one on this one did have the glass break. We can also look at the other side as well, see if there's a significant difference. No, I see pretty much the same conclusions here as I saw on the other side. We could also try going into the inside, see what that looks like between the two. So we'll get inside on that one and then inside on this one. And we'll just kind of look around here. So the inside here looks basically flawless. I see no damage in here or any kind of misshapen forms. And then on this one, the door has caved in a little bit in towards where the driver is. And that's about it, though. I think over there it's kind of a little bit of a mess, but I think that's just the door caving in right there. And that's all that's going on. So overall, safety-wise, the older one is probably a little bit less safe, but not that significantly. And we could have also done like an aerial view like that, just to see that. Although I don't know if there's really much to see from that. Not really. I think the other view was much more helpful. And now we can also do a side impact crash test, and to do that we're going to need another vehicle. So let's just grab a big heavy D series like the D35 V8 4-wheel drive extended cab. I'm pretty sure that is the heaviest variant we could possibly get of the D series. Then what we're going to do is we're going to bring both of these cars over to here and just kind of park them like this. And I'm using this camera just so I don't have to change to it later, but I do not like driving with it. So there we go. We park it there. Parking brake on. Grab the blue one, and we'll do the exact same thing. We'll try to keep a little bit of distance between them, so hopefully they don't hit each other when we crash into them. So like, hopefully like this will work, and we'll hit the blue one first. If we hit the blue one first, there's literally no way I can hit the red one because it's behind the red one. Perfect strategy. So now we'll go back to the pickup, and we're going to have to back this up quite a ways because I want this to be a pretty high-speed crash. I'm thinking maybe something about 60 miles per hour, so might work. And we want this thing to get up to 60 miles per hour. We got to go all the way back to about here. I see the speedometer touching 60 there, so I know I shouldn't have a problem reaching up to 60 from this point. And then, as I said, we're going to do the blue car first. And I'm just going to try my very best to hit it right in the middle at about 60 miles per hour. So we look pretty centered up there. Speed a little below 60, but if we just hold the gas down, we should be able to get there. Good. And that looks pretty much right in between the wheels. Couldn't have had a better impact than that. We'll slam the parking brake on for now to stop the truck and let the other car just get pushed for a bit. Reset the pickup. And let me see where that car ended up compared to the red one. Hopefully, the pickup won't cause the red one to swing into the blue one. It's possible, and if that happens, we'll have to redo all this, but I don't think it'll actually happen. So again, about 60 miles per hour. We'll do 16 times slow-mo once again. That looks pretty good. Right into the middle, and I'm pushing it a little bit to the left to make sure it doesn't go towards the blue car and hit it. Looks like it did pretty good. Oh! I kind of ripped the wheel of that one up a bit on the suspension test, but we can ignore that when we do a comparison. So we'll put the camera like that, and we'll just kind of go between them and see how they did. So actually, very similar. You notice both of the roof lines crumpled in a almost identical fashion. Like from behind, does it look the same as well? Yeah. Like they really look like they both got hit at a very similar angle for that to happen. Now the actual amount of damage, it looks like it's possible the red one's roof may have deformed slightly more, but it is very, very close to be able to say one way or another. And then I keep hitting to the truck. It's because I have to switch between, it's hard to do that, right? Without really thinking about it. Anyways, looking between the cars like this, I'm noticing the blue car's rear door did not have the passenger seat sticking through it, where the red one did. So it's possible the blue car's passengers might have been a little bit safer. Or actually, it might be sticking out a little bit, but not as much. And then the red car for the driver's seat, those look pretty similar. They both have a chunk of the dash sticking out, but the blue car has a little bit less. Now, the actual shape of the doors, both of them got pretty badly deformed, and again, it's pretty similar. Like, even the bottom part of the doors, look at how similarly they've deformed. They both have like the exact same shape to them. The hoods, blue one did get popped up a little bit more, but that's probably more coincidental of the angle of the crash versus something you could really compare. All right, how about drivability after something like that? So red car can put power down still, does not drive well, but it can drive. And then for the blue car, it is in automatic mode somehow instead of arcade mode, but once we change it to the right mode, it can also drive, and it feels like it drives a little bit straighter than the red car does. Like if I don't do anything, that's how much it pulls to the left. And then with the red car, this is how much it pulls to the left when I don't do anything right now. So it definitely feels like the red car is pulling more to the side than the blue car. And we can also go ahead and actually take a look at the interiors of the vehicle, see how those look compared to the outside. Apparently, this one just farted out fire. The door right here, it is caved in enough where it would be hitting your legs for sure. The seat is actually just exploded up onto you. This pillar right here, that has definitely gotten closer to us. In the rear back there, it looks like kind of that whole thing just got deformed where the passenger would be, so that's not good. And I hear fire burning, but I don't actually see a fire except for the one that it pooped out. Weird. Unless, nope, it's not this one being on fire. So the interior on this one, this door definitely got pushed in more. Although I did notice while driving, the red one's door might have actually opened up, so you weren't seeing it at its most pushed in. The pillars, that pillar is actually definitely pushed more than the other one because you can't even really look at it without looking straight through it. Rear seats back there, those look more intact than the other car. Like the other one, they all looked beat up and exploded out. That one looks perfectly intact. How'd the seat on this one look? You can't really see because of the door, but you would have to assume it is damaged to some extent. And I think I want to figure out, why is there a fire? Why is there a fire? What part of you caught on fire? The fire's gone now. I have no idea. That is the weirdest thing. All right, let's go and reset both of these and do one last crash test that I want to do, and that is a rear impact test. So we're going to line them up basically the same as what we had before, but we're not going to rotate them 90 degrees. So we'll put the blue one about here, and then we'll put the red one right around next to it. Now this one, we're going to do it even faster than the last one. This guy is speeding at the freeway at the max speed of his pickup truck, basically, and he doesn't even have a chance to stop. So that means the actual impact will probably be about 80 miles per hour, I would guess, because I'm not going to slow down at all. I'm just going to floor it the whole way, and since it's the same distance, it should be going about the same speed. I might have overestimated the speed a little bit, though. It looks like it's going to be a little bit closer to 70. Either way, we're going to hit right in the vehicle. And this one, I want to get a lot of slow-mo on. All right, that looks good. We'll put the parking brake on for the truck and just let the crash kind of finish up. Wow. We pushed that car a pretty significant amount. And once again, there is the possibility of the blue one hitting the red one after impact. Can we move this out of the way? Yes, we can. It's moving excellently after such an impact. That is amazing. All right, put it right there so it's out of the way. And then we're just going to hit this truck into the red one, doing the exact same thing. So it should hit 72 miles per hour or so to be consistent. I see no reason why it won't, though. Lots of slow-mo again. You can really see the deformation. 72 miles per hour, just as I was hoping. Parking brake engaged now. And then we'll just go ahead and full speed that. That one actually didn't get pushed as hard as the blue one. It seemed like the truck actually let off of it. So, blue one drove. Does the red one? Yes, it does. That's the power of front wheel drive. Doesn't matter what happens to the rear as long as the front goes. Oh, it's pooping out more fire. Okay, that one's not just pooping fire. It is actually caught on fire. That is definitely a negative grade as far as I'm concerned. Going between them, they're actually supposed to have the same camera angle here. Whoa. Every time I hit reset the camera, it kind of shifts still. But they're actually not. Is that because one is in chase mode and the other one isn't? Yeah, there you go. So that's about the same camera angle now. And they're just both wrecked. Like it's hard to even compare them because they're both so destroyed from that angle. How about looking at it from this angle? That one, okay, definitely the blue one got it worse because you look at the roof line of the blue one. The roof line on the blue one has been really, obliterated out, where the roof on the red one is still kind of intact. But then again, the red one's on fire, which is pretty bad. I'm looking at the trunk though, like the red one still has some of a trunk left from that angle. I take that back. If we look at it from this angle, then neither of them really have a trunk. But the roof, well, the roof damage actually looks pretty comparable on this side versus the other side on the red. So those are actually pretty close. I mean, again, they're very, very close. There's not a huge difference in terms of how they crashed, except for the fire, which is so loud. Why is the fire so loud? It's just funny. Like, the car crash itself is about as loud as the fire, it seems like. I don't know why. So that'll conclude the testing of crashing. Next thing we could do is a suspension test. Don't really know if there's much to learn here because of how similar the vehicles are. Let's see, we'll just go like that, kind of see what it feels like, and then we'll do the exact same thing with this car. It's in drive. Okay, weird. I don't know what I'm doing there with the transmission. Ooh! That definitely looks bumpier, though. The red one definitely had a smoother ride than the blue one. Interesting. So that means the older one had a stiffer suspension setup or something, which means it might be faster around the corners. But first, we got to figure out which one's faster in a straight line. So to do that, we'll just go to Grid Small Pure. And we're actually going to do a couple of straight line tests. We're going to start off with the 1.8 versus the 1.8. Then we'll do the 2.0 versus the 2.0. And lastly, we'll do whatever the fastest version is, that's stock, versus whatever the other fastest stock version is. Because the old one does not have a 2.7 liter engine available. So this is both cars taken off at exactly the same time with the 1.8. And it appears that the old one is going to take it away without issue. Will the new one have a chance to catch up, though? Doesn't really appear like it. It looks like the old one is still outpacing it, and I'm not going to go much faster than 100 miles per hour on this test. But it looks like, yeah, old one is going to get to 100 before the new one, because boom, there it is. Old one still a few miles per hour behind. Now let's test the 2-liter engine. So again, same one we were driving earlier. So the 2-liter LX, and we're still using just the automatic transmissions. Accelerate and accelerate. So is it going to be the same story as last time? It's a little bit closer this time. But once again, old one is just a tiny bit faster. It's closer though. It's definitely closer than the last one. But old one hitting 100 right there. New one still only at 96. So now fastest versus fastest. So the fastest old one is going to be the GTZ. And the fastest new one will be the 2.7 Sport. V6 Sport. So this one has a bigger engine, but the other one has a turbo. Which one will do better? Let's find out. Right off the bat, red one is taking it, but then the turbo spools up and away goes the old car, destroying the modern car after that terrible, terrible launch in comparison to the other one. This one's already way past 100, and it keeps going. Now, one thing that I made sure I didn't know if I didn't mention though, is I made sure that I got the manual on the new one because I needed a manual to match the GTZ, which only comes in manual. Now, whether or not the other ones would be faster with manual versus automatic, I am not going to go into that much detail to test because it would get kind of boring. So now we're going to move on to something a little bit different. We're going to see what about around a track? Which one is faster? The new one may be better around a track with its more modern suspension setup. That's what we're going to find out. And to do this test, we're going to go on to the... Oh, it's such a hard choice for me at the moment. Let's just do a normal thing like Town Course Short B. So let's start off with the modern Pessima, and we're going to be using the 2-liter version because those two seem to be the closest between the modern and the old one. And I really am curious which one will be faster here. It should be really close because although the old one had a stiffer suspension, which usually means better handling, this one has much newer suspension technology, which might be able to be softer while handling better. Who knows? We're going to find out, though. And what is up with those cones? They're all, like, falling over. I hit the cone just to kind of show you, which probably slowed me down just a tad. So if this is, like, within a millisecond, you could probably blame me there. But I pushed it a little bit harder than I should have when my hubcap flew off. So maybe it equalizes itself out. I don't know. I'm just trying to do one run that feels fast and there's no huge mistakes. Like, if it feels slow, if it feels like I made a huge mistake, we'll do it again. But those are minor things. Well, hitting the thing wasn't even a mistake. It was intentional just to be like, look at what it's doing. What is it doing? I don't know. It's crazy. This is going to mess me up. I don't know exactly where to brake. Whoa! I messed myself up by putting that cone in the way. I was like, which way do I go? Oh, wait, I know. There goes another hubcap, though. I am the hubcap destroyer right here. And this one, I actually know where to go. I just got confused before. We're going to cut this corner real hard to go as fast as possible. And across the line in 1 minute, 12 seconds, 0.304. So, can we beat that with the other Pessima? Let's find out. And I'm going to restart the scenario again to make sure the car is spawning in the exact same location. So just give me a second to do that. So now let's go ahead and grab the old model, and we'll even keep the exact same color so it's as fair as possible. No, it doesn't make any difference at all what color it is, but it's more consistent, so it's like a super realistic test. Because if it were a different color, it would do nothing, but I just like the same color, okay? I just want the same color. Anyways, from driving both of the cars, the one thing I've noticed, the old one is much more likely to actually oversteer, where the new one's basically all understeer unless you start pulling the e-brake around the corners. So I would guess the old one would be able to go around corners faster if you're a better driver, where the new one's kind of set up where if you're an absolutely terrible driver, at least you won't spin yourself out because it's made in a way where it's really hard to spin yourself out. And unfortunately, when I popped off a hubcap a minute ago, or a few seconds ago or whatever, I did slightly damage the vehicle's steering ability, so that might slow it down a bit. I don't know if it will or not, though. I can keep it straight enough, I think. We'll see what happens. Like, if I crash, I blame the slight damage. You know, my tire, it was 2 psi too low. That's what happened. Whoa, up on the corner. Just keep it going. We only have like 7 seconds to get to that next checkpoint, but it's not far. Come on, and across. And that's really close. Like, yeah, it was faster, but the difference is so minimal. That's just, you know, me braking a little too soon on a corner. So overall, I would guess their actual capabilities are surprisingly close doing that, even though the old one feels faster. Like, it feels a lot faster, but the new one is able to keep up somehow, I guess, just from having a newer, more high-tech suspension setup. So anyways, I think that will do it for this video. Until next time, this has been WhyBeAre. I'll see ya.